Hey guys, welcome back to another video in the Django Foundation series. In this video, we are going to see how to create a super user, establish the database, and see the Django admin panel. And so to do that, the first thing that we have to understand is where is the database for our project. So the database for our project got created the first time around we ran python manage.py run server command in our command prompt. So as soon as I ran the command, the Django project initialized the database. And the database was initialized based on the settings.py file that exists in my code base. In the settings.py, if I scroll down, there's a dictionary that kind of defines what database is going to be used. The database name was called db.sqlite3, which is what was initialized in my project folder, as you can see here. Right, SQLite3 is a file-based database that is very simple to use and is kind of platform agnostic. It doesn't need a server to use, so that is what comes pre-built along with Django to be used in all projects. At a later point, we are going to replace this with more powerful databases, but for most of the things that we are going to do, SQLite3 database must help us do everything that we need. So now let's get started and understand how to create a super user and look at the things that we have ignored so far. So if I go to my urls.py, you can see that there's already a URL endpoint called admin, and it is connected to something called as admin.site.urls, and this is something that we did not write. So now let's explore what this is. We can just simply visit the endpoint and see what is returned. So first we need to run the server. My server is already running. If your server is not running, please execute the run server command, and once you execute the run server command, the server should start running. So now I'm going to go to the browser and visit the /admin endpoint. So you can see I'm visiting 127.0.0.1 and 8000/admin, and the request is going to be handled by the backend. So for some people, you might face this problem of no such table Django session. That's because only database was initialized and no tables that are related to Django itself were created in the database. So whenever we create a first project, we have to essentially migrate all the database changes. So to do that, I'll first kill the server. Then you simply have to type in python manage.py migrate. So what this essentially does is this applies all the inbuilt Django tables or the models that are defined inside the Django project to the database and makes all the things available to us through the admin panel. And this will make more sense as soon as we log into the admin panel, but let's look at what it looks like first, right? So I'll run the server again, and now if I go and refresh, the /admin should now be showing you this login page with username and password. However, we have not created a username and password to log into this page. So now to do this, we have to go back to the command prompt, kill the server, and execute a command called python manage.py create super user. So create super user command lets you create an admin for your panel. By default, it's going to prompt it to be the username of your computer. So if you want something else, you can change it. So I'm just going to call this one admin, and I'm going to set the email address to be admin@specbit.com. Password, I'm just going to keep it hello123. Something that's very simple for you to remember on your local system. It's saying it's too simple and it does not follow the standards of 8 characters, numbers, special characters, but I would like to bypass it and keep it simple. So great. So now I've created my super user, and now I can use the super user to essentially log into my admin panel. So now I'm going to go to the admin panel, refresh the page. Now it's running. Here I'm going to type in my username, which is admin, and then the password, and click login. So when I click login, I come to my admin panel. So by default, we are seeing two things in our admin panel, which is users and groups, which is what got created by default when we executed the python manage.py migrate command. So this command needs to get executed the first time around you would like to access your admin panel, because admin panel is nothing but basically graphical user interface to access your database and database operations. So I can go to my users and I can see that the user that I just created already exists here, and I can also go on creating new users, and you can like create as many users as you like, and also let users change their password and bunch of things like that. And for categorization of authorization and stuff, we also have groups. In groups, what you can do is you can define what permissions somebody has in the admin panel once they log in. And the beauty of Django is that we did not write any of this. This all came inbuilt along with Django, and we may or may not use this depending upon our project, but however, we have to know that this comes inbuilt with Django. So I hope you understood how to essentially create your own super user, log into the admin panel, and understand what's in the admin panel.